Roll up the sheets and grab your floaties. Today's headline comes with a wave of wonder. Do they still make waterbeds? You know the ones. Sloshy, squishy, and oh so groovy. Once the crown jewel of 1970s bedrooms, now whispered about like shag carpet and lava lamps. Well, hold on to your suspenders, sweetheart, because we're about to take a deep dive, head first, into the rise, the splash, and the surprising survival of the mighty waterbed. Let's rewind the clock to 1968. The summer of love was heating up, and a young design student named Charles Hall had a wild idea for his college project: a liquid-based chair. That didn't quite work, but what he invented next? Oh, baby. It was the modern waterbed, and it made waves. Big ones. He called it the liquid support for human bodies. Bit clinical, eh? So they slapped on a better name, and by the 1970s, waterbeds were hotter than a jazz solo in July. They weren't just beds, they were a vibe. You weren't sleeping, you were floating. Every bounce, every ripple, every romantic notion came with a splash. Advertisements promised better sleep, spinal support, and a bedroom experience that was downright aquatic. By the 1980s, waterbeds were in 1 out of every 5 American bedrooms. That's right, folks. These were no passing trend. They were status symbols, talk pieces, and depending on how wild your weekend was, clean-up projects. But then came the slow leak of popularity. The 1990s rolled in, and suddenly folks weren't so keen on sleeping atop what was basically a glorified water balloon. They were heavy, high maintenance, and let's be honest, one little puncture, and you were wading through bedtime disaster. Homeowners hated moving them. Landlords banned them. Couples realized maybe sleeping on waves wasn't so dreamy after all. The market dried up, from tens of millions sold down to a trickle. The once iconic waterbed faded into pop culture punchlines and basement storage. So that brings us to today's big, bubbly question. Do they still make waterbeds? Yes, sir, they sure do. But not the same kind your Uncle Barry had in his velvet-curtained bachelor pad. Today's waterbeds have evolved. We're talking hybrid waterbeds, modern marvels that combine water chambers with sturdy foam sides and temperature controls. No more tidal waves every time you roll over. Companies like InnoMax, Boyd Specialty Sleep, and a few dedicated retailers still sell them, online and in specialty stores. They're quieter, comfier, and won't soak your floor if you sneeze too hard. Some models even use soft side technology that makes them look like regular old mattresses. But underneath, they're still riding the wave. And who buys them, you ask? Well, some are loyal old-timers who never gave up the dream. Others are young trend hoppers rediscovering retro. And some folks with back pain swear there's still nothing quite like the liquid lullaby of a good old waterbed. So there you have it, the waterbed. Once the sultan of sleep, the splash king of suburbia. Now a niche but noble survivor in a world of memory foam and fancy springs. This is the Ragtime Reporter, signing off with a rubber ducky in one hand and a wave goodbye in the other, reminding you to keep your dreams fluid, your bed frame strong, and your sleep just a little sloshy. Waterbeds still float.